Coliseum today, and they end up being the Lions. Start to finish dominance from the reigning and defending world champion Boston Celtics, and they are on the board in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The final score, Boston 115, New York 93.
Well, that's more like it. That's the way the world's supposed to work. I think things feel a little better around here tonight than they did on Wednesday, didn't they? It's Matt McCarthy, Cerrone battle, Celtics postgame. We're here until 7:30. We got room for you on the phone lines. The People's Champ himself, producing the program, George Sepulveda. How you doing tonight, Cerrone?
Man, I'm doing a lot better. Trying to figure out why, but I'm feeling a little better about things tonight. So yeah, how about yourself?
I'm great. I'm doing well. You know why I'm doing well, Cerrone? It's because everything is as it should be. Mm-hmm. That's the way it was supposed to go down. Before we get into the actual game and the Celtics turning things around, will you humor me, Cerrone, for 60 seconds on this?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Can we please make fun of the New York Knicks and, more importantly, the dopes who have New York Knicks fever? You.
Absolutely. We could do it the whole show. I'd love to.
You idiots. How much money did those dopes spend to go to that game today? Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Biggest game played at Madison Square Garden in the last 25 years. Oh, Madison Square Garden. Let me take my pants off from Madison Square Garden. Have you heard about it? Cerrone, it's right in New York. You take it to Penn Station. You can go there. It's Madison Square Garden. Think about all the great moments that have happened at Madison Square Garden. Like, actually, I'm not really sure. Billy Joel's played a bunch of shows there, right?
Yeah. There's been some good shows there. Some good fights.
A lot of good fights. Great place. You want to have a good prize fight, Madison Square Garden. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Rangers.
Oh yeah, I mean Rangers 94. Yeah, that was 31 years ago. Yeah, okay. So for the
the last time the Knicks were good too. But
yeah, and they weren't like really good, but they were fine.
Good enough.
Yeah, Springsteen did a 10-night stand there more recently than the Knicks have been relevant. A lot of wrestling matches. Oh, Madison Square Garden, the home of everybody else, and they just let the Knicks play there. A team that has accomplished, Cerrone, nothing ever in history. Nothing. Oh, but the Mecca of basketball. I've had to hear about the Mecca of basketball for the last 3 days. You can kiss my ass with that. The Mecca of basketball. Why? Why? What? Because New York's a great city? Because there's no city like New York on planet Earth? You're totally right about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Trust me, there are a million basketball teams like the New York Knicks on planet Earth. Some of them even play in Europe. Not even here. Oh, but because New York's a great city, does that make Madison Square Garden and the Knicks great, you dopes? You will never see that $1,200 again that you paid to go to that game today because, it's Knicks fever. It's this, it's that. Oh, yeah, the Knicks, the Celtics are in trouble. This series is what it always has been. If the Celtics do their job, do what they're supposed to, and don't play like complete, I almost went there, complete effing a-holes, this series will be what you saw today.
And go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just remember forever that no matter what the Celtics do, have done, and may do for the rest of this series, the Celtics could totally revert, play like a bunch of idiots the way they did in the first two games, and maybe the Knicks will win the series. Maybe that'll happen. Just remember that you are the Knicks, and it's not about you. This series is about the Celtics. You're not the Yankees. You're the Royals. And frankly, that's insulting to the Royals because the Royals have accomplished more than your franchise has. This is about the Celtics. And today's story, Cerrone, is that the Celtics hit their shots. The Knicks are still the Knicks, and the Celtics live by the three and die by the three, and they hit their threes today. And as a result, they ran the Knicks out of that overrated building where they've never accomplished anything. And the greatest accomplishments happen for the visiting team or the bands or fighters who show up to perform there.
Yep. It's always been that way. It's been that way my whole life. It was, if you want to see Jordan at his peak, Watch him play the Knicks in New York. No one remembers a single highlight of Jordan playing the Knicks in Chicago, even though they had a ton of series. You only remember what he did in the Garden. Reggie Miller's in the Hall of Fame because of what he did to the Knicks and Spike Lee. It's Larry Bird, Bernard King. It goes on forever. Hakeem Olajuwon's shining moments was in New York. It's always been that way. Paul Pierce has probably the second most game winners, I think, in NBA history or something like that. But the one that stands out the most is when he's taking a bow in Madison Square Garden and Nate Robinson's falling over Ray Allen's head in the background. It's like it's always about the visiting team. And that was the case again today. Peyton Pritchard came out there, and Peyton Pritchard was better than anybody in the Knicks uniform. And he wasn't even a starter for the Celtics. When the Celtics 6-man outplays your best players, you're in for a long night. And the Celtics, you knew they weren't going to shoot 25% the whole series. And I was just asking for 35%. 35%, they'd be up 3-0 right now. And tonight they did a little bit, did better than that, shot 50%. But I love the balance of the three-point shooting. It wasn't one guy with 17, 16. Derek White in game 1 had 16. Then he had 11 attempts in game 2. Tonight, Holiday, 3 attempts. Derek White, 6. Horford, 4 attempts. Brown, 4. Tatum was the high man out of starters. He only had 9 attempts from the three-point line. It's good balance. And the Knicks had no answers for it. And I was feeling bad that the Celtics didn't push it to 35 or 40. It was a 30-point game. And I'm like, they got to be better than this. But that goes to show where the Knicks are versus this team when the Celtics really have it going.
It goes to show how you should feel about the New York Knicks. That, like, yes, they didn't win this game by 35. Shame on the Boston Celtics.
They got to fix that. They got to clean that up.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, because the Knicks are too busy cleaning up Tracy Morgan's puke on courtside, because that is the New York Knicks experience. The second I saw him sitting courtside today, I'm like, it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Celtics are going to win this game by 25, and they did. I don't care if you have the Pope on your side now. You're still the Knicks. The Nova Pope, the Nova Knicks. Doesn't matter. God, the Popes, the Pope, you're still the Knicks. That was beautiful.
It was over early. I mean, it never was really a contest. Some of the Knicks players played hard and made some good plays. Mitchell was out there trying his best, Mitchell Robinson, but his free throw shooting just completely going to take him out of the series. But you knew the Knicks were in trouble. They were scrambling. Josh Hart wasn't going to keep that up forever. OG wasn't going to keep up what he did in game 1 forever. Eventually, the averages were going to catch up to both of these teams. And I just, when you're getting on the Knicks, I said, what more fitting thing for the New York Knicks to go 2-0 on the road and then come home and lose every single game at home to the Celtics, a Boston team of all teams. It'd be so New York Knick right now. And I don't know what the Knicks can do to adjust, because as bad as the Knicks played tonight, they were better than they were in game 2.
Right. I mean, were they any significantly different than what you saw in game 1 or game 2, where they fell behind by 20? The difference in today's game, Cerrone, it's 2 things. The Celtics actually hit their 3-pointers, which we know they're going to keep shooting. They are. So they actually hit it today. And they didn't play like idiots when they were up by 20. Joe Mazzulla called the first time they got up by 20. The Knicks then cut the lead to 17, and Joe Mazzulla actually did his job and called a timeout. Like, he actually did what he was supposed to do. That stopped the Knicks' momentum, and that was it. The Celtics were not complicit in their own demise today, and that is the story of this series. Like, we've just spent 10 minutes mostly talking about the Knicks compared to the Celtics. I don't think the Knicks are worth 10 minutes of our time. Like, that's it. No more Knicks talk. It's all about the Celtics, because that's this series, Cerrone. If the Celtics just do the bare minimum, which they didn't do in game 1 and game 2, they should win the next 3 games, and they should win this series going away. Like, that's the way it should be. We'll get to you. 617-779-0985. One open phone line. Grab it. I'm sorry. Thank you for humoring me on that.
Oh, that's fine.
We had to.
That's fine. Do your thing.
I want to get more of your breakdowns on what the differences were today, why the Celtics were better today compared to game 1 and game 2, what that means for the series moving forward. And your thoughts. 617-779-0985. It's McCarthy and Cerrone, Celtics postgame until 7:30 tonight here on the Sports Hub.
your sports. 98.5 The Boston sports, yeah, we got that covered. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
For Tatum today, although he did not shoot well. 6 of 17, which makes him 21 of 60 in the series. So all the Tatum haters will get their bowl full Tatum catches, left side three, got it. He does have 5 threes, 5 of 8 from distance.
Fair to say a bit of a bounce-back performance for Jason Tatum today. Obviously a bounce-back performance for the Celtics, 115-93 over the Knicks. New York leads the series 2-1. Matt McCarthy, Cerrone battle. Celtics postgame. What'd you make of Jason Tatum today, Cerrone? What'd you make of his performance?
I thought Jason Tatum was under control today. I thought he kind of took his time. He got 20 shots up, but he seemed far more under control. I thought him and Brown kind of played with a pace or a patience tonight. Kind of like they felt free and loose. Like, no, we're going to stick to what we know. We're going to get our shots. He missed some easy layups early on, and that probably would have had him 50% shooting overall. But I thought he got to his spots. He picked and chose when to take those threes. And when he had the space to shoot him, he shot him and he knocked him down. He still gave you the all-around game, 9 rebounds, 7 assists to go with the 22 points. But I thought he was pretty balanced. And that third quarter, when they didn't have a lot of things going, I still think the Celtics did a good job. They hit a bunch of threes early, but when it kind of felt like they were reverting back to what they did in game 1 and 2, you see Tatum make an effort to try and get the ball inside to Drew Holiday or to Jaylen Brown. Now, they kicked them out for threes. That beautiful play by Holiday where Tatum passed it to him, and he slaps it over to the corner for White for 3. I thought plays like that were the key to the third quarter for them tonight. And it was Tatum setting the tone with the ball movement and kind of playing quarterback for this team in the second half that kept the Knicks from making it a real run and making real noise in this one. But it was a good balanced bounce back game. You're not expecting superstars to shoot 55% in the playoffs. The percentages usually go down because it's harder. You're playing against better teams. You're seeing them every night. They know your tendencies. But, 8 for 20 tonight, plus 23, 22, 7, 9, couple steals. Yeah, I think he played a pretty solid game. As much as he had the ball playing 40 minutes, he only turned it over 3 times. The starters as a unit only turned it over, 8 times. So good for them and good for Jason Tatum playing good quarterback ball today.
I think you described it perfectly. He was in control. And as a result, the Celtics were in control. And that's been the issue in the series, Cerrone. It's not the fact that the Celtics haven't, frankly, dominated the Knicks in the majority of the action in this series. They have just played completely out of control and with their heads up their ass in big moments. And when games have gotten tight, they haven't known what to do. And trust me, that's not a good sign from a team that won a championship last year, and that's a sign of a bigger problem and a bigger concern. But that shouldn't be coming into play in this series. It just shouldn't. The Celtics, when they got up by 20 today, then just played in control, reasonable, responsible basketball, the bare minimum. They did the bare minimum. The talent, the difference, the disparity between these two rosters got them to 20, plus. They, 20-point lead. And then they just did exactly what they were supposed to do. Just play basketball. Let's get this thing done, and let's get the hell out of here. Partially, that does come from your best player being in control. When your best player is in control, that sends a good message to the rest of the team. I thought one of the most important moments in the game, Cerrone, was Tatum's first 3 of the night. Celtics, I think, they'd hit 2 threes before that. So they came out, they were 2 for 2, and then Tatum, just swish from distance. You're like, all right, okay. He's feeling it. He saw it go in. It's almost like the rest of the team could breathe after that moment. It's like, all right, we're good. We're in control. We're the better team. And they played like that for the vast majority of the game.
Yeah. And once he came out and did that, I felt that the Derek Whites and Drew Holiday didn't have to force anything. I think they kind of felt like you said, or relief, like, okay, he doesn't have it tonight. Maybe I got to force it and get it going. Because look at the shot attempts from Derek White in the first couple of games. Look how many shots he was getting. Look how many in with threes. Like I said, 16 threes. The Celtics took 100 threes in the first 2 games. Derek White, I think, took 26 or 27 of them. He was just being ultra aggressive. And it's like, as good as Derek White is, we don't need him to be better than Jason Tatum every night. If that's going to be the case, you're going to struggle a little bit. And they did. They struggled. But Derek White I want to say he kind of took Tatum's lead. Tatum and Brown. 18 attempts for Brown and Tatum. Derek White down to 10. He only had 10 attempts, but he still gave you 17 points, plus 29. Got the steal, got the key blocks, 5 rebounds. That was a key play block he got on Brunson on the layup there. And one thing I got to give Derek White credit for, maybe it was a confidence because Tatum was hitting his threes early or Brown had it going. Pushing the pace. First quarter, they weren't walking it up. Everything was done with force. Pushing the pace, getting into their offense quickly, making up their minds quickly. And I think that helped everybody's shooting rhythm because they played with a pace of a game earlier in the season when they were really cooking the Knicks. And I think walking it up, you're playing right into Thibodeau's hands. That's what he wants. He wants to slow down. They're not much different than Orlando when it comes to how they want to play these games. They want to turn it into a bar fight, get it all, all messed up and just slow. And that way they can hang around. They can win by scoring 91 points. But when the Celtics get out and play their game, play with pace, you saw more fast breaks from them tonight, more layups. You saw an alley-oop to Al Horford. You saw a lot of them getting out. Derek White getting layups out on the break, putbacks off misses. They play with pace. I think Derek White set the tone with that. Jaylen Brown, I thought in the middle quarters was excellent, kind of doing his thing. He's getting inside. He only took 6 threes out of 18 shots, got to the foul line a little bit. But the Celtics, I think, played their game. If they were ever to get anything offensively out of Porzingis, they'd be beating this team by 30 every single night. He's the real difference that this series is even. These games have come down to that because you're missing his season average every night. And if Porzingis, even in a game you up 29, 30 points, only have 5, if he would have had his average night, if he can get close to that, the Knicks have no chance at beating this team at any point in the rest of the series.
What did you make of Porzingis tonight? There's still something going on there. I would say he played 19 points tonight. Felt like he got more run in this game. So I don't know if his capacity to play a little bit longer is there. He's still a step behind. He's still a step slow. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm gonna hope the number of minutes that he was actually able to play tonight is a sign of positive things to come, and he might actually find his game a little bit by the end of this series. But this thing, Cerrone, I have no idea what to make of this. What the hell happened to this guy? What virus was this? Holy crap!
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what he has or whatever. It's bothering him. He's only gave you 18 minutes tonight. I guess I'd rather have him have, something that's keeping his stamina down as opposed to, muscle or bone or tendon issues that he normally has. So, look, if you can get him through 18 minutes, he can get him a short minutes, and he can get off whatever's bothering him. It gets respiratory, whatever, his energy. If you can get him to another series where he doesn't have any, like I said, tissue injuries or nothing like that, that's a positive sign. But he was a plus 11 tonight. He had 3 blocks. He was there defensively for this team. He was rotating and doing all that stuff. He only had 5 fouls because they were fouling Mitchell Robinson to death.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we will get into the Mitchell Robinson experience. I can't wait. I can't wait about that. Sorry.
If you could just get something out of Porzingis offensively, he only had 3 attempts tonight. But here's the thing, though. I will say this. When the Celtics, they didn't get in trouble in the third quarter or the second half. They had moments where you're like, man, come on, guys. You get some more layups here. Porzingis was open on a bunch of pick and rolls. If they'd have just threw it toward the rim, he would have had a bunch of dunks. Kind of like game 2 in the third quarter. I think he scored a quick 7 or something like that. He was getting open on the pick and roll because they're so worried about the threes. They weren't really looking for him, and they weren't dumping it down to him, maybe because they feel he didn't have it. But he was getting open. He was making plays defensively. He knocked down his free throws, got to the line more than any starter. So he's coming along. He might have had more if he'd played more than 18 minutes, but yeah, whatever it is, if they can figure that out. If they can get something out of him, this series would have basically, I don't think any team left in the playoffs would have any instance if Porzingis was playing at the top of his game right now. But to get by the Knicks, Porzingis being better than what he's been will be a huge step in the right direction for this team.
617-779-0985. Let's go to Eric in the car. You're up first. Celtics postgame. It's McTakey and Cerrone. What's up, Eric?
Hey, guys. I'm happy that they won. Truly am. However, I just think that Jason Tatum is a fraud. I don't think he's ever going to be the alpha player.
I'll be honest, Cerrone. With the talent on this roster, he doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
He needs to make his teammates better. Now, 3 years from now, when half of this team is broken up, maybe Tatum needs to be that alpha guy. I think they get into trouble when Tatum gets into that mode. I think Tatum
it's unnecessary.
You're right. It is unnecessary for this team. I know you feel that way about NBA players in general. Like the best player needs to lead you. It needs to be Paolo. It needs to be Brunson. All that. The Celtics are different. They have more talent than just about anybody else. When Tatum plays the way he did today, in control, making his teammates better, not actually as involved as other star players, I do think that's best for the Celtics right now.
Yeah, it is. And it's always been that way for championship teams. We want him to be, here's the thing when it comes to Tatum. We want to compare him to the Kobe Bryants and the Michael Jordans and the Larry Birds. Those are the top apex of all, not just basketball. Those are apex athletes on a global level. It's like Messi and Pele. They're on that level. Compare Jason Tatum to his peers, to the guys around him, to the Donovan Mitchells. Donovan Mitchell was trying to be the alpha male, and they're getting cooked by the Pacers. Even though he's had 40 in 3 of the games, they're down 2-1 in this series. SGA is trying to be the alpha male, and in OKC right now, he's shooting 35% for that series against Denver, and it's like, and they're down 2-1. This is a team that won 60+ games. They're down 2-1 to a banged-up Nuggets team because he's trying to be the alpha. You know, Anthony Edwards, another guy shooting 35% in the playoffs, trying to be the alpha. I'm going to force my way through it. The only reason they're not down big right now is Steph Curry got hurt. But being the alpha is not how you win. It's just a thing that we market. It's a marketing thing. Being the best player on the floor, yeah, that's totally different. Luka Doncic and LeBron James are gone. Two guys we consider alphas. They're gone in the first round. But being the best player on the floor in the series is key. Tatum was a plus 23. He was 8 for 20, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He's averaging like 12 rebounds for the series. Now, mind you, this is a Knicks team that has Karl-Anthony Towns, an all-star center, Mitchell Robinson, a guy that's a rebounding machine. Tatum's still the leading rebounder, I think, in this series. He's still doing his thing on that end. They're going to take away his points offensively, but he might not look like an alpha. But the way he started, like you said, started the game, hitting those threes early, bang, bang, pushing the leads up, that's alpha play. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference.
No doubt.
Jason Tatum, to me, is always compare him to Tim Duncan, Steph Curry. We never look at them as alphas because they're not loud about what they do. But at the end of the day, you're looking up, it's like, okay, they play on great teams, Duncan and Steph Curry did. They don't need to go out and get 50 and take 30 shots a night in order to win. I got to pick my spots and I got to play team ball. Jordan looked like an alpha because he was playing with a team that had Scottie Pippen and a bunch of other guys that we never really knew who they were. And he had to get 40, 50 to win. Kobe, when he won his second go-round, he wasn't playing on a loaded team. It was him, Gasol, and a bunch of dudes. And he had to be that guy to win. When he was with Shaq, nobody called Kobe an alpha because he was playing with an alpha. So he played his role. See what I'm saying? The team calls for it. Tatum's team is too good. He doesn't have to go out and take 35 shots a game like some of these other all-stars. And it's kind of hurting him because it keeps the scoring average down. But the dude, not only did he have 22, 9, and 7, his man, OG, had 2 points. That's more important to being an alpha. I'm a dominator offensively, moving the ball, scoring the ball, hitting my threes, rebounding, getting 7 assists, and I'm going to keep my man to 1 for 6 shooting and be a minus 25 on the night. He might not look like an alpha, but that's alpha basketball right there.
Jason Tatum was better today. He had to be better, and the Celtics won by, 22, 23? I mean, there is a correlation there. Real quick, David in Nashua, I need to bring you up here. Hi, David.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt Cerrone. Thanks for taking my call. Great win. Hey, Matt, I just want to let you know your little rant there about the Knicks and how bad they are as a team franchise was radio gold. And I agree with you. If the Celtics hit half their three-pointers, then the Knicks have no shot.
You're exactly right, David, because the New York Knicks are the New York Knicks. There has never been a franchise in sports more overrated just because of where they play. They've accomplished nothing. Oh, they play in New York. They play at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, and they've never done anything. Anything.
Are they the Cowboys of the NBA?
No, the Cowboys have actually won.
The Cowboys won, but since
the Cowboys have won in my
VHS,
lifetime.
The Cowboys have been the Knicks.
Yeah. No, I mean, you give the Cowboys another 20 years, then they're the Knicks.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
The most overrated, completely relevant franchise out there. And the only reason they're relevant is because people are from the greater New York area, and they talk about them. It's the media thing. Oh, the Knicks. Oh, who are the Knicks going to sign? Nobody. You know why? They're never going to accomplish anything. And that's what you're going to find out over the next 3 games. They're going to go back to where they belong. The Celtics did what they were supposed to do today and what they're supposed to do in this series, which is take off their belt and spank the Knicks. Belt to ass. Quick break. We're right back with you. I see you on the phone lines. We'll take care of you. I promise. Cerrone's here. It's McCarthy on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics with a 115-93 win over the Knicks in Game 3. 23 points for Peyton Pritchard off the bench, 22 for Jason Tatum, 19 for Jaylen Brown. Knicks with a 2-1 series lead, Game 4 set for Monday night at Madison Square Garden. Tonight, Warriors and Timberwolves, Game 3 there. That series tied at 1. Red Sox and the Royals get underway in the 7 o'clock hour here from Kansas City. Big-time pitching matchup tonight. Garrett Crochet on the mound against Cole Reagans. Romy Gonzalez placed on the injured list today. Nick Sogard up from Worcester. Stanley Cup playoff action tonight. Caps and Hurricanes Game 1. That series tied at 1. Edmonton looking to take a 3-0 series lead on Vegas tonight. Saints quarterback Derek Carr announcing his retirement today due to his shoulder injury. And the Revs are in Orlando tonight looking to extend their winning streak to 5 in a row. Coverage starts at 7:30 here on the Sports Hub. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. There's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. In this town, sports happens 24/7. We're Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Pritchard, guarded by Deuce McBride. Shot clocked out of 6. Pritchard moving to his right. Got a create here. Pull up at the elbow. Jumper over Mitchell. Robinson is good. Have yourself a day with the world watching Peyton Pritchard.
Step up. Make plays.
All right, Celtics postgame rolling on. McCarthy, Cerrone, you, 617-779-0985. I want to talk about the changes that Joe Mazzulla made today. Because Cerrone, the Celtics still took a lot of threes. They took 40 threes. They just happened to hit 20 of them, which is the difference in this game. So the approach remains the same. And if you've got a problem with that, I understand why as a Celtics fan. You say, hey, they live by the 3. They die by the 3. They died by it in games 1 and 2. They lived by it in game 3. That's the way they are. I think we understand that's not going to change. The approach is not going to change overnight. They're not going to do anything differently. They have the answers. We know they have the answers. They'll tell you they have the answers. It's all about math. It's about three-point attempts. So that's not going to change. What Mazzulla did change was Peyton Pritchard tonight, who was probably the Celtics' best player, led the team in scoring, played 13 more minutes than he did in Game 2. Drew Holiday played 9 minutes fewer tonight than he did in Game 2. That feels to me like a deliberate decision by Joe Mazzulla. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pritchard had his moments in games 1 and 2, where we were like, man, he had good first halves. Let's see what happens if he keeps it going. If he builds up a rhythm, if he builds up some confidence, or as a young player playing in these long series, build up tendencies, being able to recognize tendencies from the players. He hit a 3, I want to say going to his left. He's bringing the ball up. They set a screen for him, and he doesn't fight through the screen. He kind of waits to see how the Knicks play it out. And all the Knicks defenders ran away from him, and he just pulled the easy 3. And you could see him, the game slowed down. It was like he got in the Speed Force, the Matrix. It was like everything slowed down. It was like, oh, that's what you're doing. And he waited as the game went on. He was patient with everything he did. He waited. You sag off, I'm hitting this shot. You play me close, I'm going by. When the help comes, I'm kicking it out. And he played like Tatum. We said Tatum earlier, played with pace, but played under control the whole time. And Peyton Pritchard is not a guy that really turns it over off his feet or loses dribble or anything like that. He's really fundamentally sound. But he looked like a guy at, we see the clips of him at these pro-ams during the offseason. He's scoring 90 points. He looked like that guy. And the Knicks had no answers for him. And when he hit like a free throw fade jumper over Mitchell Robinson that just fell through clean, I said, oh, yeah, he's out the box now. And once he got going, there was nothing the Knicks could do about it. And you almost seen Jalen Brunson like give in, like, I can't defend him. I got nothing for him. I can't defend Jaylen Brown. I can't defend Jason Tatum. Where am I going to go? And Brunson's frustrations kind of got to him a little bit. He's looking for the refs. He's kind of crying for fouls on both ends. But Peyton Pritchard, I think, set the tone. And good move by Mazzulla. I mean, we dragged him for what he did in games 1 and 2. You got to give him credit for the adjustments he made tonight, or sticking with something that was working, unlike things he did in the first 2 games. He stuck with it. It was good for Pritchett, and I think it was good for Holiday because it was able to keep him fresh for most of the game when he did get on the floor.
Could this be a trend moving forward, or is this a one-game adjustment?
I think it's a series adjustment. I think this is a trend you can go to in the series because, to be honest, Jalen Brunson can't defend Peyton Pritchett. I don't think none of the Knicks guards can defend Pritchett. And if you keep switching out Mitchell Robinson and Towns out on Pritchett that far away, he's going to cook you. So I think in this particular series, they found something that the Knicks can't adjust for. And if they adjust or lean toward Pritchett, it's going to open it up for other guys. So they're kind of stuck here. So yeah, unleashing as many pieces to this thing as you can is what makes you the best team in the NBA and makes you a difficult team to beat. So yeah, I think they've unlocked something for this series. We'll see if they get by this and then what kind of adjustments may go into the next round if they get through this.
Longest order wait here. Dan and Danvers. Say, Dan.
Hey, Matt Cerrone. You guys do an awesome job. I was going to say just absolute crystal today with this. I do want to say, is it bad to say that watching them win this game today, that it's almost frustrating because they should be up 3-0?
No.
And it's just, and it's just the fact that you've got these guys, hitting contested shots when in the end they were uncontested in these first 2 games and they weren't hitting their shots. So it was a very frustrating first 2 games, obviously. Glad to see them get the win, but this is going to have to be a repeat in game 4. And we're hoping that on Monday they're able to do that. And thanks for taking the call, guys.
It's interesting, Cerrone, because it almost feels like the Celtics are up in this series, the way they played today. I mean, doesn't it? Just because we all know the differences between these two teams. If the Celtics play anywhere close to their capabilities, and frankly, they don't even have to do that, if they just don't play dumbass basketball, they're going to win this series going away. They are still down 2-1 in the series. So, I think the caller's right. It's like you watch this game today. It's like, hey, if you just didn't play like jackasses in the first 2 games, you're up. Even if you only played like a jackass in one of them, you're still up 2-1. Like, I suppose you could say we're getting carried away with ourselves. Like, we're talking like the Celtics are going to win the series. I never felt that they were going to lose this series, even when they were down 2-0. Because it's like, and it's like you can be frustrated with the product and frustrated with their approach and frustrated with their pig-headedness and their stubbornness, like all of that. But in the end, the talent is going to win out in this series. It might catch up to them later on. NBA Finals, you play like this, you're not winning. Against the Knicks, I'm sorry, you're winning. So I don't know. Am I getting too carried away, Cerrone? Like, no? I'm acting like the series is over. They're actually down.
No, you're not at all. You're not getting carried away. Think about it. 3 games in a row. They've had 20-point leads. 3 straight games. It was pushed over 30. You had a lead 20, and a 30-point lead against this team in the second round. We got on the Celtics last year. A lot of people did. Oh, they really weren't challenged. They didn't really face real competition. This Knicks team was picked to be the second best team in the Eastern Conference beginning of the season. And you literally were, for most halves, you're beating them worse than you did any team last year in the playoffs. Miami Heat lost, but they were close. The Pacers lost in 5, whatever it was, 4, whatever. I can't remember now. But the Pacers games were close. The Cavs games were close. The Mavericks, you blew them out in the last game, but for the most part, they were close games. The Knicks, you've been up 20 on them by just even going cold. They were 25 out of 100 in games 1 and 2 and had the lead with a minute left in both of those games. That goes to show you the gap between these two teams. When the Knicks are playing good basketball versus the Celtics when they play bad basketball, the Knicks can barely hang around. But the thing with the Knicks, like everybody knows, they have to win early because Thibodeau's teams, he runs them into the ground. He plays guys big minutes. Towns was already holding his hand tonight. He was already kind of limping around and act like he was in pain. Brunson eventually is going to start limping. It's been going on since Thibodeau first became a head coach. His stars are going to fall apart the longer this thing goes.
Well, these Knicks teams have not been ready to go for the start of these 3 games. I mean, the Celtics have gotten out to big leads in all 3 of them.
Yep.
So I mean, they're not ready.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, the Celtics weren't ready to win the game in game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, they should have won those games. But it's you're not being overconfident or whatever. They basically gave them a head start. Vegas still, I think, had the Celtics favorite to win this series, even at being down 0-2. And I think they gave them that head start, and I don't think it was enough. The Knicks had to win that game today. And I want to see how the Knicks play Monday. Let's see how loose they are. Let's see if these fans are real, like these Knicks fans. Let's see how loose and happy and confident they are, because they know Monday is their game 7. If they lose that game on Monday, the series is already over for the Knicks. The Celtics feel like they can still catch them, but the Knicks have to win this game at home. If they don't and they lose ugly, just like early tonight, the DJ came on and started playing music all loud through the fourth quarter. I said, yeah, this thing is a wrap. The Knicks have to win this next game. If they don't, this thing is over for them. But I think the Celtics can still survive another L to this team.
Carl in Westfield. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Matt and Cerrone. How are you, gentlemen?
How you doing, Carl?
Well, I had been absent by default because I really didn't have anything good to say. But, of course, there's the Stephen A's with the no teams coming back from 2 down. Every remaining champion last 6 years lost in the second round. And then, as Cerrone, quote of the year, mentioned, well, they showed up and played basketball. They rebounded, they distributed the ball, watching Tatum draw the 2, and then pass off to Drew, while Derek White is doing armed robberies on the boards and Al's stuffing them. And they're moving the ball around. They're all such shooters. That means the lanes are open because you have to cover all shooters. And then we've got 2 blow-by players that can pull it out of the hat. And, of course, Tatum and Brown were showing that.
Yeah, they played under control tonight, Carl, as Cerrone said, and I think it's the perfect way to describe what you saw from the Celtics today. And it was more their style, which, again, they kept shooting threes, but they hit them this time. But everything that – I know people obviously were nervous that they got up to a 20-point lead. Missoula called a timeout when the Knicks cut it to 17 in the second quarter, and that was it. That was it. Yep. The momentum was gone, and the Celtics played in control for the vast majority of this game. They also did employ one of their premier tactics in this series, which we have to get to. The Mitchell Robinson experience in this has somehow become the most compelling, entertaining, weirdest, wildest thing going on out there. We got to get to this thing. And your calls I see on the line. We'll take care of you. 617-779-0985 Celtics Postgame. It's McTakey and Cerrone here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Boston sports, we're fans just like you. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Uh-oh, the fans kind of come to their feet, trying to help him out here. That's when he shoots an air ball.
3 of 11 in the first 2 games, and he shoots an air ball.
That's what I just...
They tried.
What I just
You have
said.
never seen New Yorkers more giving than just now in this show of extraordinary support for Mitchell Robinson. And when they get behind him for the second free throw, he airballs it.
You know, Cerrone, I actually didn't pick up on this in the moment because I was so aghast by the air ball and the Mitchell Robinson experience. You want to talk about Knicks fans being, you want to talk about, you think we're green teamers up here.
Yeah, good point.
Homers, just, oh my God, we love the Knicks, the Knickerbockers. Bill Bradley ran for president. We love the Knicks. So they are actually cheering on Mitchell Robinson. You're not real New York sports fans. You think Yankee fans would be doing that? Oh, you frauds. You soft fraud Knick fans. But that's all you have. You have to be soft. You have to be fraudy because you've never accomplished anything. If you actually had standards like the New York Yankees, the greatest team in the history of sport, let's call it what it is. They are. I hate to say it, but they are. If you actually had standards, you wouldn't be cheering on and supporting poor Mitchell Robinson when he's out there airballing threes. You jokers, you dopes, spending $1,200 to go in there. You got this, Mitchell. You got better luck next time. And they cheered him. It wasn't a Bronx cheer. It was a cheer when he actually hit one. I've never seen anything like it. That guy, Cerrone, he is my hero. He shoots like me, and he's in the NBA. It's incredible. What an experience. The Mitchell Robinson thing, the storyline in Game 2, him going to the line again and again and again today and missing and airballing a brick. Oh, what an experience this thing is. I've never seen anything like it.
But the funny thing is they quoted him as saying, hey, it shows that they respect everything else I could do in the court because they're trying to get me out of the game. It's like, no, they just hate you. They just know you're a 26% free throw shooter in the playoffs. And they're better chances of sending you to the line than anything else in sports. It's equivalent. You mentioned the Yankees. This is equivalent to bases being loaded and the other team saying, no, pitch right down the middle, underhanded over and over again. We want him swinging at this, and the crowd cheering for him.
Yes, we call
You're
that.
You're not even supposed to make noise when your guy shoots free throws, and the Knicks do the opposite and start cheering for the guy and making noise and making it worse.
We call that the Connor Wong approach, just right down the middle, just right down the middle, right at him, especially with runners in scoring position, just right at him.
At 80 miles an hour too.
Right. The whole thing's a joke. It's funny. It's become a sideshow.
And they won't adjust. That's the thing.
I think the Celtics are mismanaging this thing. Hacking him up 29 not only has to be a violation of the Geneva Convention for poor Mitchell Robinson and everybody watching the game. I mean, that has to be a violation of something out there. Not only is that a joke, I'm not convinced it's a great strategy because he did see a few go in after that.
Yeah, he made a couple. He made 3 tonight. 2 or 3 went in, I think, tonight. He's like 3 for 12 or something like that.
And 2 of them were after they hacked him when they were up 29.
Yeah,
it's like, guy, okay, all right. So now, again, the human element of the thing. You watch him. Again, it was great drama. I mean, Knicks fans trying to cheer him on. You got this, Mitchell. We believe in you, Mitchell. We believe in... Because you can see he doesn't believe in himself.
He doesn't.
He's hands on the knees, like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm an NBA player. I mean, he's airball. He is so broken. He basically has the yips, Cerrone. Yep. He is so broken at the line. Why would you give him a chance to go to the line in a 29-point game to actually give him an opportunity to see a few go through? He says, okay, all right, I can breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an advantage. And I know you're playing the math there at that point, but you're not playing the human emotion. You want to do that in a close game when they're already in the bonus, not a foul away from the bonus.
Yes, that's about to say. Don't put them in the bonus.
Right. Don't put them in the bonus so everybody goes to the line. You're already in the bonus. Okay, now we hack Robinson. We pick a spot, and it's a bigger moment in the game, and the game is close, and he's going to choke at the line.
Yeah. Two air balls instead of 1 now.
Right. now that you let him see a couple go through in a 29-point game, have you taken a little of that edge away? I think Mazzulla, again, that is an example of him looking at the math instead of looking at the human emotion. There was no reason to hack him up 29. It has to be a violation of the Geneva Convention. I mean, seriously, that is a war crime that Joe Mazzulla committed there, not only against another human being in Mitchell Robinson, but against all of us watching the game. They should have been hacking him at the end of the first quarter when they were in the bonus. And they actually did. It's the one time they didn't hack him today, and that's the time where it makes sense.
Yeah, it backfired in game 2. They fouled him a ton of times in game 2, but I don't think he went to the foul line but one time.
No.
They kept fouling him, but it wasn't sending him to the line. I think he was banking on Thibodeau taking him out of the game. And Thibodeau was like, no, let him keep fouling him because it's going to put us in the bonus. And then our good free throw shooters, Jalen Brunson, is going to get to the line. A ton. Karl Anthony Towns will get to the line. And we're going to make our free throws that way. And that's how they end up winning the game. But you got to pick your spots and say, they're already in the bonus. He's killing us on the glass. He gets that offensive rebound. Somebody just wrap him up. Because we'd rather send him to the line than have him get a putback dunk. Now, earlier in the NBA, you saw this with Shaquille O'Neal, the hack-a-Shaq, this is where it started. But they did it to Shaq because they had no answers for him.
Right.
He was going to score 60 points if you didn't do it. And you said, we got to take our chances here. And Shaq, on average, was a 55. He shot 60% a couple years when he was in L.A., but he was a 55% shooter. So he was coming out of that thing with points every time. He put your whole team in foul trouble. Everybody was in a bonus. And then come fourth quarter, Kobe goes to the line 15 times. See you later. They did it because he was so dominant. This dude is not dominant at all.
No,
he's just out like, what do you do in the offseason? What literally do you do? Excuse me. Shaq weighed 330 pounds. He was a massive man with massive hands. So shooting a basketball was like shooting a volleyball. It was real hard for him to do it even with skill. It's a real hard thing for him to shoot free throws because of his size. So, yes, if people say, well, he didn't work on it. He probably did, but he's just so big, the ball is like a toy. It's like shooting a Nerf ball. This dude is built like a Kevin Garnett type guy, whatever. You should be in the lab shooting shooting thousands a day. This is what you're paid to do. That way you can stay on the court. You can get more points, more rebounds, make more money, make your career last longer. He's just getting worse. 26% from the free throw line in the playoffs. That's ridiculous. And they're not going to stop until either Tibbs takes him out or this kid finds a way to get hot and maybe he shoots 50% and maybe they'll ease up on him.
But he might shoot 50% now because he's seen a few go in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that Joe Mazzulla doesn't get. He doesn't look at the human element, the human emotion of the thing. Because I saw a guy in that second quarter today who was broken at the line. He wasn't so broken by the end of the game. Now, maybe he will be, on Monday night where it matters a little bit more. They're picking literally the exact wrong times to do the Hackett thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Cerrone, we got 10 seconds here. Celtics winning this series and in how many games?
Celtics win this one. They're going to win in 6. I think the Knicks is going to be real tight come Monday night, and the Celtics are going to pounce. And I think they still shoot under the season average at 48 threes. I think they keep it around 40 and they still win this game.
I think the Celtics still have one screw up in them. I think they win this. I think they win this thing in 7, and they win Game 7 going away, kind of like Philly a few years ago. Cerrone Battle, as always, outstanding stuff. We'll talk to you. I think you're on tomorrow with Joe Murray. So we got Revs coming up next against Orlando, going for 5 in a row. He's Cerrone. I'm McCarthy. Talk to you tomorrow, 2:00.